I go into sneaker shops, no hello. I go into food places, no hello. I'm like, do you not want me here or something?
They don't need a fake smile and
American people are so much friendlier than Brits. I've noticed from the first day or so of being here.
What I've noticed since coming to Europe is that there are generally more attractive people, so the average person is more attractive than the average person in America, right?
The amount of support I have had on my videos from Americans is blowing my mind. So I live in the UK, and in the UK, nobody supports you for anything. Nobody from the UK is commenting on my videos, showing me love. But you know who is? You Americans.
Another thing is, nobody wants to visit countries where people hardly talk to each other. Nobody wants to visit countries where you are not even allowed to carry your flag with pride. Nobody wants to visit countries where you cannot critique the government. You cannot critique the politician. In the USA, democracy is so real. And unless you move outside, unless you move out of the USA, you may never understand the essence of democracy in the United States of America.
I landed in Arizona Monday evening. It's now Thursday, and these are three things that I've noticed since landing. Number one, everyone is way more friendly than in the UK. Everyone's just coming on a vibe, everyone's trying to talk, and everyone's trying to have conversation. It's a beautiful thing to see, because in the UK, everyone's very reserved, they keep themselves to themselves, but here, it's a lot more friendly, man, a much better vibe. Number two, tipping culture is real. And I do get it, because they don't get paid as much over here because they are waiters and servers, so they do low-key rely on tips, but it's something different in the UK because we're so used to just paying for our food and that's it, we're gone. But over here, everyone almost expects tips. Number three is the weather. I'm in Arizona right now, which is arguably one of the hottest places in America, and every single day is 36 degrees, 38 degrees, 39 degrees Celsius. In the UK, if it's hitting numbers like that, crazy. Obviously, I've only been to Arizona so far, but I would definitely recommend coming to the US. It can get expensive, but go to the non-touristy places other than New York and stuff, and I'm sure you have a whale of a time.
American people are so much friendlier than Brits. I've noticed from the first day or so of being here. I don't know how or why, but just how they approach you, they're just so much more positive. And I feel like that also is how they look at wealth and success. We tend to frown upon it, and there's jealousy, and it's condemned in a way in the UK. People don't really celebrate it as much, whereas here it's promoted and people genuinely want to see each other do well. But from all the interactions I've had, everybody just, even if it's people they don't know, just dap each other up and just show a lot more love rather than the Brits. We're a lot more to ourselves and a bit colder. This is also the same for any Americans I've met while traveling as well. So guys, if you're watching, I'm showing you some love here just like you've shown me. You're very positive, and I don't know, you don't take life as seriously, you're just a lot more happy than the Brits. Don't get me wrong, we're not as obnoxious and we're not as irritating sometimes in public spaces. That is where the Americans take a point down, but in friendliness and showing love, especially to random people that you've just met, you're definitely one up.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing that fascinates a lot of Britons than the American friendliness nature. In Britain, people are not quite friendly. People are not very nice. People are not very happy. But when they came to the United States of America and realized how people are happy, how people are quite friendly, and even the customer service is quite on top notch. Yeah, the person selling the service, the person selling the items actually wants you to be there. Actually is happy that you're there. Is asking you, how can I help you? Is everything okay? I hope you're enjoying yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, that is America for you. The friendliness nature. Ladies and gentlemen, the greetings, the interactive. Okay? Yeah, you're walking along the road and someone says hi to you. Yeah, that's one of the most amazing things. They look very small, but they can go very far.
I'm back in America and I loved my time in Europe, but I am here to give you guys the reasons why America is superior to Europe. Starting off with a big one that I had no idea about. This You can't do it in Europe. This is what the caps are like in Europe. They don't come off. So every time you try to take a sip, it hits you in your nose. I know I got a big nose, but like, dude, come on. My next reason is this superior American plug. I was prepared with this adapter right here, but America just does it best. Now, this wasn't true for every country, but while I was in Switzerland, I really missed this puppy. I mean, I had to eat my pasta with a spoon. Please tell me if I was missing something, because there were no forks. And going back to the water, they don't serve it with ice anywhere, so that kind of sucked. And I missed inches and pounds too, so it's good to be back. But don't worry, Europe, I still had a very good time with you, and I have much more of you to explore, so where should I go next?
What I've noticed since coming to Europe is that there are generally more attractive people, so the average person is more attractive than the average person in America, right? However, at the extreme ends of the curve with the most attractive people, right, America actually takes the cake on this because, you know, looks maxing is generally larger in culture there. There's so many people with great genetic bases that I see walking around the streets. However, they don't really think about that type of stuff on a day-to-day basis and kind of just enjoy their lives for the good or the better, or I don't know, you know what I mean? But yeah, at the extreme ends of attractiveness, America actually wins.
The amount of support I have had on my videos from Americans is blowing my mind. So I live in the UK, and in the UK, nobody supports you for anything. Nobody from the UK is commenting on my videos, showing me love. But you know who is? You Americans, and I love you all for it. It's really opened my mind to how the societies are different between the UK and America. In the UK, it's so frowned upon and so unsupported to do something out of the norm. And in America, it's embraced. People love it, and they especially love to see Brits talk about America. I honestly feel like America is now my second home, and I can't wait to go back out there. I literally cannot wait.
I moved from the UK to California last year. Here's what I think America does better and what it does worse than the UK. Now, I was debating giving this point to the US, but I'm gonna say it's a bit of a mixed bag, and that's friendliness. Now, on the one hand, I feel like Americans are a lot more welcoming, a lot warmer, should we say, than British people. But I think just because there's a lack of third spaces here, whether it's pubs or clubs, it's just kind of hard to get close to people. Whereas in the UK, even if, sure, we're a bit gloomy on average, it's just easier to get a bit close with people. Now, this is a big con for the US, and that's public transport. Now, one time I was in Anaheim, a city that's like a 20-minute drive away from me. It took me, no joke, like 3 hours to get home by public transport. The buses here just suck. The vast majority of Americans, you have to have a car, and that's kind of a bummer, I think. Now, one thing I think the US is miles better than the UK for is housing. Now, for the same price I was paying for a shoebox room in central London where I could touch both walls with my hands, in America I could get a swimming pool, hot tub, and a pretty spacious room. It was a bit of a culture shock. Like, housing is just a lot better here, and a lot better for the price, definitely. Now, this is one I'm probably the most biased on, but I'd have to say the UK is way better than the US for nightlife. I don't know, it just feels like nightlife's quite exclusive here. If you're at university, you're going to join a frat, and that's going to cost you like $1,000 to $2,000, and then it's like most bars are 21 plus. And also, I feel like the music is just a lot better in the UK. In the US, if you're just a small hometown DJ, like, you're it, like, you're that guy. Yeah, I think in the UK we're really spoiled for music, and in the rest of Europe in general. Lastly, I think the US has much better customer service. If you're a minimum wage worker in the UK, like, you're making that everybody else's problem. Here, like, you go to a Denny's or whatever, the waitress always has a smile on her face. It's just like a much more enjoyable experience, I think. I know there's like a big tipping culture here, obviously, that plays into it. Kind of goes into the whole Americans are more friendly point. So those are my thoughts as a Brit living in the US for the past year. Let me know what you think in the comments.
The difference between the UK and the USA is actually crazy, and nobody talks about this. Number one is the customer service. It's elite. I could be ordering some water and I'm getting treated like royalty. In the UK, the server's looking at me like, why am I even bothering them? Number two is that everyone here is a main character. They got hype, they got energy, they got personality. It don't matter if you got drip or you got money. If you ain't got personality, you are not gonna stand out here, bro, because they are characters. I've met so many different archetypes. I'm saying archetypes because it's that serious out here. I've met hella people and they are all so different, bro. And yo, don't even get me started with the gym culture out here. The talent is immaculate. Immaculate. Every day I've got a new gym crush. Not only that, when I be training at these gyms in Miami, I love the fact that you can train shirtless throughout the whole session. Not in a specific room, the whole session you can just bust off the shirt and train, bro. So I'm literally in heaven in that regard. Number two is the music. I ain't hearing oomph or some next funky music in the gym. I'm hearing 50 Cent, all the latest tunes, bro. I'm hearing real gym music, hip hop, shit that I like. Finally, shout out to the American girls because they do it better. Now don't shoot the messenger, I'm just stating facts. I don't know if it's something to do with the weather or something in the air, but they come with the energy, the confidence, the look. Can't lie, after this trip, the UK just might never see me.
We felt American. We felt pride while we were standing there in that parade. It was like, yes, we want to be part of this country and participate and show our love and appreciation and respect for this wonderful country.
Yeah.
So I think it really solidified for us that we want to become American.
We have to move to America. I just don't see us.
Yeah.
I don't see our future
anywhere else.
You know, especially with the little one. You know,
it is.
In my opinion, like it's the best place on earth. He's going to have the best life in the best place on earth.
Hopefully. Yeah.
If anyone's got any ideas, we either need to get a job or.
So we are. So we're putting the word out, actually. So we either need to start a business or we need to join someone else's business. We want to get in this country any way we can, legally, of course. And so we are trying our hardest to do that. We want to contribute to this wonderful nation and be part of it and make it part of our future and our future families, generations to be here. So that's what we're trying to do, and that's really why we wanted to celebrate the 4th of July.
Because there was so many people that were like us. Like if I was to go in the street right now and be like myself, right? Like I genuinely will wear this. And thank you for this. This is from Dennis and Shanna.
Yeah.
Like this,
they were amazing.
What
amazing people, honestly.
It was so cool, man. They took us to different places in the city we would have never found. So it was very cool, like, to meet other people. They were like that, right? So a good example, Dennis and Shanna had even more energy than us, and we were like basically running on adrenaline, and I was like, whoa, okay, like I'm reaching superhuman levels of enthusiasm here. Like,
yeah, but imagine how amazing just to be like that all the time.
Yeah.
I think that we could be, honestly, if we lived there, I think that would just be our normal state.
Absolutely. And but if I go in the street like that and I'm like that here, people will just shut down on you. People will shut down on you. You need to meet very specific types of people that will ride into that. Whereas, you know, like 9 out of every 10 Americans I've met that were like that.
I was just thinking about an interaction I had with an American lady the other day. She was asking me like how I've been finding it. I've been here for a couple of weeks now, like what the differences are between the UK and America. And I said that I found the people here are a lot friendlier. All my interactions, everyone's just so nice. People go out their way to be nice, whether that be at like a gas station, a supermarket, on a hike, even just driving. I found people were so much more like polite. They'll put their hand up. And she replied saying, that's because we all carry over here. So is that the only reason people are nice? I doubt that is the case, but I'd never even thought of that possibility before, and it did make me think that could actually be why. I mean, it makes sense that if there is a risk, if you piss someone off and they got a gun, shit could go down, like you would just be friendlier. So it does make sense. So yeah, can someone let me know how big of a part does that play? Is everyone just like on edge? Is everyone wary that everyone's got a gun, so everyone's just super nice?
So I'm a Brit living in America, and I'm currently on the porch, the American flag, just journaling, and I just saw some people walk on the sidewalk, the pavement, as English people say, and they said good morning to each other, total strangers. And I just feel like this is something that does not happen in England. Like, people just don't acknowledge, don't make eye contact, especially in London. I feel like this is more towards London, but here they're saying good morning, it's a sunny day, people are happy, and I feel like that's just such a simple thing that makes life better, and people just acknowledging each other, and it's just so nice. And these are things that make me love America, especially like how much, like, imagine in England if we put up flags like this, like, it just does not happen. And the palm trees, I love it here so much.
Everywhere I go in the UK, the customer service is so trash. Like, no one says hello when you walk in. I do not feel freaking welcome. Like, is this a thing or what? They don't even ask me, do I need some help or nothing. I don't like that.
And that's because the UK and Europe in general aren't run by capitalism. That classic American manufactured friendliness and suck-up culture that we all know. It's mandatory when working in the American retail environment because it pushes customer loyalty and it makes those big corporations that run the nation look good and earn your loyalty so that you keep coming back and giving them your money. And as a result, it develops this absolutely dystopian expectation that every staff member of the store that you just walked into should drop everything they're doing and go and greet you and treat you like royalty and kiss your feet. This does not work in the UK for a few reasons, most of which being that a lot of people in the UK, especially in London, really just want to be left alone to do their business.
No hello. I go into sneaker shops, no hello. I go into food places, no hello. I'm like, do you not want me here or something?
They don't need a fake smile and a greeting to feel good about their shopping. They're there to pick up their shop, pay, and leave. You know, like a normal person. Another reason that manufacturer friendliness will never work here is that people in the UK are really good at telling when you're being fake, and they do not like it. This is the same phenomenon we see with wait staff in America as well. Suck up to the customer enough, put on a plastic enough smile, and you might be lucky enough to get a tip, you know, to make up for the fact that you're legally allowed to be paid $2.13 per hour as a wait staff in America. This is getting into a whole other topic. My point is, when it comes to customer service in the UK, the British are actually very helpful and nice people. You may need to approach them first at the shops if you need something. Do not expect them to get on their hands and knees for you like they would in America. They have far more dignity than we have in America.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. This time around, I will side with the American people. Customer service is very important, because nobody wants to go in a store and the person that is selling you a service, or the person that is selling you whatever items that they are selling to you, they are gloomy, they are sad, they are angry. Nobody wants to buy in such a store. Contrary to what happens in the US, people are friendly. Yeah, the person selling you whatever items that you want to buy or whatever service that you want to buy, they are happy people. They are putting on a smile. They are talking to you respectively. They are happy that you are actually there to promote their business. Contrary to what happens back in your home country, the person is making it look like you are not supposed to be here. That, oh, I am doing you a favor, while it's the opposite. It's the way around. You know, you're the one, I'm the one who is, you know, using my own money to promote your own business. So why are you treating me like someone who does not want, like someone who is not worth it, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, and that is quite sad. That is so sad if that is what happens in Europe or in Britain, where the salespeople are putting on a gloomy face, an angry face. They are always sad. If they are always sad, why are they there then? They should do another business. They should put on another business or something else. They shouldn't be there. Yeah, because at the end of the day, in the US, the customer is always right. You have to put on a smile. You have to be kind. You have to be friendly. If you cannot do that, leave that job. Go and do something else, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, friendliness goes a long way if you want to make any sales. But either way, it's the capitalism nature in the United States of America. But for this time around, I stand with the US. Another thing is, nobody wants to visit countries where people hardly talk to each other. Nobody wants to visit countries where you are not even allowed to carry your flag with pride. Nobody wants to visit countries where you cannot critique the government. You cannot critique the politician. In the USA, democracy is so real. And unless you move out of the USA, you may never understand the essence of democracy in the United States of America. Because some country, their own citizens are living in hell. They cannot critique the government. They cannot critique any politician. They cannot challenge any politicians. Once they try to do that, they are killed or jailed. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine living in such an environment. Imagine living in such a country. Nobody wants to visit such places. Nobody wants to stay in such places. This is why I consider USA the best country. A country that actually allows you to critique the government and nothing will happen to you. A country that actually allows you to critique politicians and nothing will happen to you. Ladies and gentlemen, a country that allows you to carry your flag and no one is going to ask you any questions. A country that you go in a store, you walk in a restaurant, the people selling the service they are smiling, they are happy, they want you to be there, they are serving you respectively, regardless. You feel respected. Nothing makes a client come back when they feel that they are respected, when they feel that they are important, like they feel when they are made to feel like, oh, we are happy that you are here. Some other countries like Britain, you walk into a store, the person selling the items is not happy. The person is making it look like they are doing you a service or a favor. I mean, I don't want to be in such a place. Ladies and gentlemen, USA still remains the best country ever. And I'm coming up with my own facts and opinions. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. Thank you so much for stepping in, watching my videos all the way to the end. Thank you so much for the newcomers. Thank you so much for the regular and casual viewers. I'm so much delighted. Ladies and gentlemen, share my videos, hype my videos. Very extremely very important, because in other videos that do so much damaging to the United States of America, in other videos that attack the United States of America, those people hype their own videos. Those people make sure that their videos is going viral, so that people can look at USA in a very bad way. So I believe, in my own small take, why can't you also promote hype videos that seem to talk nicely about the US? Because trust me, out there are so many videos that talk bad about US than videos that positively share something good about the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, yep. And of course, human interactions are very important. When people visit certain countries, they meet people. It is the people that encompasses the country. It is the people that make the country good, not the buildings. Yes, they are important, but at the end of the day, it is the people that encompasses the country. It is the people that make a country beautiful. Yeah, because when you visit people. You don't visit the roads. You don't talk to the roads. You don't talk to the cars. You talk to the people.